Gil, what time is it?
Himalaya time.
Himalaya time. You know, when you want to listen to a No Chill podcast early, you get it on Himalaya. All you got to do, download the app. For exclusive first access, Himalaya is a brand new podcast app where you find every single podcast you love. You can also find future favorites there. But really, we want them to come No Chill.
Mm-hmm, of course. Right. Just mine.
If you're a podcaster or a fan, Himalaya has your back. Discover personally curated playlists and show your favorite podcasters like us some love with the Himalaya tip jar. It's free, it's the easiest to use, and they're adding cool new features every day. Go to the App Store, download Himalaya, and you should subscribe to the No Chill podcast if you're not there already.
Everyone's already there, so just download Himalaya, please.
And we're dropping every week.
Every week.
On this episode of the No Chill podcast, we catch up with Shareef O'Neal. The last time we saw him, he was about to kick off his freshman year at UCLA. After a dominant high school career, a heart condition, and an intense surgery put basketball on hold. Reef catches us up on the surgery, the recovery, and how he's been spending the time in between. The good news, he's about to get back to basketball. He tells us how he's using the downtime to look at the game differently and enjoy college. He also shares how his dad has guided him through this chapter and what kind of advice not only Shaq has given his son, but what other greats of the game have offered Reef. It's a very special episode of the No Chill podcast. Remember, you can get every episode first on the Himalaya app. Of course, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, along with all things No Chill on the No Chill channel on YouTube. Gil, we got Reef here.
Yeah. What's up? What's up?
Welcome. How you doing? How you feeling? So what people know about you have a season off. You have a health condition to deal with.
Yeah. I had surgery December 13th. It was for my heart, and I feel good now. I feel great. I start playing again in 17 days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yo, I know that's nerve-wracking, boy. That's nerve-wracking.
Counting down.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna miss this whole season redshirting, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss this whole season. I depending on how the rest of our season goes, if we get that far, I just wouldn't want to waste this eligibility for this year, so I'm gonna just use it for next year.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, when you do something you love for so long and, you know, it's like all you know and just taken away, like what's been your mindset this whole time?
When it first got taken away, I didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't really know what I was good at just because basketball has always been there. So when it's gone, I didn't know what to do. Kind of just isolated myself for a long time. Was only with my family. And then after my surgery, when I wasn't in pain, I just kind of would turn to music. I never really made music, but I just like hearing music. And I just kind of try to put my focus on music and look deeper into it. And I started making beats recently. I was in the studio with Southside. He's in 808 Mafia. I just went to see how he works. And the next day I bought a beat machine. So this music has been what I've been doing. But I'm not going to release any of my music. It's not that good.
It's not that good now, but, you know, I mean, eventually. You know, but that's a good thing. I remember for the first time, Jason Richardson, you know, we came in a draft together, right? So I know everything about him.
Yeah.
We get back together in Orlando, and he's on a plane, and he's sitting there like DJing, like mixing. And I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I'm making my DJ playlist for the summer. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I'm a DJ. I was like, wait a minute, you're a DJ? He was like, yeah, I'm a DJ in the summer, and you know, I make my mixes during the season. And it was just so like wonderful to see him tap into something different. So, you know, like right now, seeing you tap into music, you know, that's gonna help you during downtime, keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you sitting there, you have a second focus.
And yeah, like the thing, there's always like parties in college and all that. I wouldn't really go. So like, I feel like music helped a lot. And my dad has always kept me and my family around music. You know, he DJs right now. He had
Shaq's
a couple
Funhouse.
albums. Yeah, he raps. He's throwing music festivals. So he taught us how to DJ when I was like 13. So I did that for a little bit. And now I just turned to making beats because I feel like he said music helped him a lot playing basketball. You know how everyone in the music wants to play basketball and everyone who plays basketball wants to make music.
Yeah.
So like I feel like basketball and music have a really strong connection.
Before your injury, were you going to be one and done?
That's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to do. You know, I had a lot of people telling me that I wasn't going to be as good as my dad. I got that my whole life, so I always just kept that in the back of my head. And I know my dad didn't even go one and done. He did a couple years, but I was trying so hard to prove everybody wrong. I feel like I could have done it, and to know that for my injury, like I was playing at about 70% the whole time when I thought I was at my full potential, and after the surgery, it's going to add like an extra 1 or 2 gear to my gameplay. Now I just want to see how it's going to translate to the floor next year once I'm back. But I was planning to go one and done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was. But if I wasn't as good as I thought I could be at the end of the college year, I would have stayed. No problem. But I wasn't like forcing myself to go.
I hate when like people compare the kids to their fathers.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing to do, because as a kid, you're looking up to your father, and now people are putting the pressure on. Now you're competing, but it's like, well, your dad was a 5-man. You're more of you can be a 4-3, especially in today's game, a 3-4-5. So you guys are different type of players. Yeah. So why are you even comparing me to this dude?
That's the ultimate. You
want to beat
your father.
Yeah, you want to, but it's like, yo, he's a 5, a strictly 5-man. Yeah. Like I don't like. Why are you comparing me to a 5? I'm a 3-4-5. I could do it all. Like we're different.
How would you describe Reef's game?
3-4-5. I mean, he's more like he can. More like Greek the Freak style, Kevin Durant. You can be any one of those 2 players, and that's the way the game is going, where you have, 6'10", 6'11" guys bringing the ball up, initiating the offense. It was in our era, but we didn't really pay attention to it. Like Chris Webber was the best passer, on that Sacramento team. Turkoglu comes in at 6'10", damn near a point guard. Boris Diaw, when he got drafted as a point guard. So when he went to Phoenix, you got this, they put him at power forward. Now he's damn near Steve Nash at the power forward position. That was, evolution just changing. Now you just have, everyone doing everything now.
Yeah, I like to say positionless basketball, but I think I saw you play the first time as a junior at Crossroads, and I mean, I didn't really know I was going to go see, and the first thing that came to mind was Rudy Gay. So length, and now you have the genetics, right? But it's totally different body type that you have. But like that's a great guy to kind of emulate because he's so versatile. It's one thing to be athletic, but to have skill. So at this point, I guess people, first of all, your condition, what exactly is it, and what exactly does that mean?
It's a long name. I try to forget it all the time, but I think it's like something wrong with my right coronary, and the problem was it was being like pinched, like a nerve was being pinched, so it was blocking off the blood flow from one side of my heart, and I want to say the paper said about almost half of my blood flow was being blocked from my heart, so if I was exerting too much energy at any time, I could have just fallen out on the court, and luckily it didn't happen. I had heart problems when I was about 5 years old, and I got a little surgery, but it wasn't that major, and they said everything would be fine. And then when I got to UCLA, my medical trainer saw that on my medical records, and then he kind of forced me to wear a heart monitor, and I was telling him, I was like, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. And then I wore the heart monitor after he told me to wear it, and they found that. So it was pinching a nerve, and half of my blood flow was being blocked to my heart, and I didn't even notice.
Oh, man, you got to think that medical staff.
Yeah.
That's impressive, because, if you was an NBA, they would have just, Like
you just said, you feel good, but there's things that can go wrong with your body that you feel fine, but there's just some abnormality that medically
I guess when something is so normal, you don't really think about it, affecting you. It's just normal. Like Eton Thomas, had, heart condition. He's, 6-7 years into the NBA before he found out. You know, same thing with Cuttino Mobley.
Yeah, Jeff Green too.
Jeff Green too. Yeah, I mean, so it's
Mobley. I think actually that kind of shortened his career.
It shortened his career. Yeah,
it was later in his career when that.
It was one of those things is you don't supposed to play as hard because if you do, this will happen. You know, it's how do you tell a guy who's been playing hard his whole career that now it's in danger? You know, it's one of those things where he's still playing. So it's, you know, he's like, I play basketball. By now I know what I can do and what I can't.
And once you get your body right, once that's addressed, the surgery was pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it was. It was about 2 hours. Being in the hospital after was probably the worst part. You know, I think I was in there for I was supposed to be in there for 10 days, but right after my surgery, I got up, was walking. I wasn't doing everything on my own, but I looked pretty well. And they got me out of there about 3 days after that, and they said that I was the first person that ever got surgery over there just to get up and start walking. And walking felt different. I feel like I reset my whole life, and I didn't remember anything. I had family in there, and I was looking at them like I've never seen them before. Just I don't know what I was on, but I felt crazy. Yeah.
How's just the college life at UCLA?
It's fun. The thing I like about UCLA is how hard they are on us about our schoolwork. Mm-hmm. You know, my dad has always been hard on me about school. I never really liked school at first, but I feel like basketball sometimes cannot always work out for everyone, so you need to have like a separate plan. So I feel like school is a real fun place to be. The party scene, everybody shows the basketball team a lot of love. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like in the movies or how everyone thinks it is. Like everyone respects the basketball team. They all treat us with love and respect, and it's fun. You just go around school, everyone's giving you high fives. Everybody.
You know, it's so funny. I look at like outside media when they say college players, need to be paid. And I always take the stance against it. Like, if you understand how much love and how much advantage we have over regular students, like, yeah, the college is making millions off of us, but trust us, we're not suffering here. We're not going to suffer.
It's a good experience.
And I said, listen, at the end of the day, you got to remember, we are rock stars at this school. And you're talking about UCLA. That means some of those kids are going to be doctors, some going to be lawyers, this and this and this. And they idolized me growing up. Yeah. They idolized me while I was in school. So when 5-10 years come from now and I need a lawyer, I guarantee you the first one is going to be from UCLA who went to school with me. Yeah. The first job opportunity is going to be from someone who went to school with that I never knew, but they just sat there and came to every game. And I said, that's the advantage. That's the payout, that when I'm done playing and I need to look for something else, I don't have a degree. And this guy was like, come on over here, GA, what's up, man? I had a class with you back in here. Here, I'm going to start you off at $300,000. You're like, wait, what?
You remember him from that class?
No, you probably don't remember him from that class, but the fact that, that's the advantage you have. And I was just wondering because, you hear stories, how popping UCLA is, even though it's a educated school, and they're like, nah, they party there. And I'm like, for real?
Yeah, like during the day, everybody's working, everybody's focused, but like during the nights, everyone is out. Just Westwood is a really like fun area to be in. You have movie theaters, food, parties, all that. So just me and my teammates, we just all roll around together, do whatever.
It's different. Most college campuses, like it's a whole, it's a campus, right?
Yeah.
So it's UCLA is in the middle of a little village.
Yeah, it's like a little village, yeah.
Yeah, so you have the downtown area, but what people don't know is like you go to UCLA for the first time, there's all these streets and neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And damn near anything goes on those streets. It's different. How about the football players compared to the basketball players? I think the basketball players are so much more recognizable on campus.
The football, like the thing with all the athletes, we have this building we go in. It's where all of us like do our tutoring and do our work. So we see all the athletes. That's the only time I ever really see the football players. I feel like I see them work a lot. Like our field, you can see their field from the parking lot that I park in. I see them in there every morning. Rain, doesn't matter what the weather condition is. So I like how the football team works over there. And we all show respect to one another, the football team, the basketball team. Like we might not be best friends, but like when we see each other, it's it's all love. But I don't really see them around. I see them at some parties. Like usually when they won some games, they would throw a couple parties, and then I don't really see them other than that. They come to some of our games. I see them there, but we would go to their games. They would come to ours. So it's respect. Everybody respects everybody.
What's so funny is me and my roommate Jason Gardner. So it was two football players. Was it Bobby Wade? It was Bobby Wade and Andre Thurman, right? And they were the two freshmen coming in, receivers. We just used to have this inner battle.
Yeah.
Like we were like, it was just, we think we're faster than you guys. Like, so we'll go in the parking lot and have a tag team race to see
Some frat boy stuff.
just to see who's the fastest out of the two freshmen. Is it football players or basketball? We were just stupid. We just used to, they want to buy a radio, we want to buy a bigger radio. And it was just, we just had this inner battle. It was the funniest thing ever.
Who was faster?
We were.
Basketball players
Yeah.
were.
I was.
Yeah. Usually that's not the case.
I was just faster than all of them, but it's.
Yeah, football players, some freak athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were two, because they were two receivers, so they were fast kids.
In my experience too, those football parties are another level.
I never, it's so funny when it came to college. I did the opposite. I didn't go to class. I just spent every single moment inside the gym. It was one of those things where, you have the player coaches, you have the walk-ons.
Yeah.
And, the walk-ons is like, I consider them the best. They're like the best teammates because, they're so excited. They're players, but they're more fans sometimes, and they're just so excited to be on a team. So they're willing to do anything. Mine used to rebound for me, extra shots. Like when we had to do 5-mile runs, he's making sure that I'm not coming in nothing but first. So he's pushing me, talking shit. Like he's last, but he's talking shit. It's like, and it was one of those things where, you got the walk on just pushing everybody, and it was just amazing.
That's the thing about basketball, though, is like everyone on a basketball team is sort of similar. They're all, hoopers and kind of similar backgrounds, but football is just so many different guys, right? Like the quarterback is way different from the lineman. The linebacker is totally unique compared to the
it seemed like the teams are so large that you don't really get to know everyone.
Yeah, I asked my cousin. He plays football in Northern Arizona, and he filmed a Snapchat one day, and I saw all these kids, and I just asked him, I was like, "Do you know everybody on your team?" He's like, "There's people on my team. I don't even know their names. I don't know where they're from." He said he recently saw someone that he's never even seen the whole year. So I don't know. Football teams, I feel like you can't really get that bond that you can with a basketball team. And plus, you have your helmets on all day, so you don't know who's who and all that.
Yeah, there's like cliques on a football team. I played football in high school, and it was just like the linemen hang out with linemen.
Okay.
They eat 3 times what we all eat, so they in the cafeteria together, whatever. The quarterback's always a cool guy, and that's who everyone wants to be friends with. But yeah, basketball is a tighter group.
Yeah.
There's more. It's unified. So I guess for where you're at now, it's a great situation for college too.
Yeah. You got 17 days. 17 days before you can get back on the court. Like, what's your plans? Like,
this summer, my dad always told me like one year of my life I'm gonna have to sacrifice a lot. So I'm feel like this is the year because I didn't know this was gonna happen. So this summer I don't really plan on having fun outside of basketball. It's been a long time since I played, and I've been itching to play for a long time. I know he's gonna want to do vacations, but he says like on vacation we're gonna have to work too. And I know I'm trying to get in the gym with a lot of people. You of course, Kyle Kuzma. I'm trying to get in the gym with him. I'm gonna be working with my dad. I worked with Tracy McGrady before, but I'm trying to get back with him, Kobe, LeBron, whoever is willing to get a workout in. I'm just gonna try to do the best I can this summer to get back to where I was before, or even better.
You know what it is? All the names you said. The thing you should take from all of us is it's mindsets. We can't teach you how to view the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't, we can give you every move in the world, but how you apply it is how you apply it. So, when you're training with these guys this summer, just focus on the intensity of how everyone does it, and then, like Kobe's his intensity level would probably be higher than Tracy McGrady's was, versus Cal Kuzma, who's a young player who's still looking for guidance. So, all you do is just take from each of us and then, apply that to your work ethic. And when you talk about sacrificing, that's what it is. That's all. The greats, they just sacrifice more than the rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, when you talk about somebody like James Harden, compared to Patrick Beverly type, it's just James Harden probably sacrifices everything in the summer and what's the name to craft his game. And that's what it is. It's like, when your friends decide and they want to go party or hang out or go on vacation, you're like, you know what? Nah, I got to make up for, not make up for last year because you're coming as first. I got to make up for development of my skills. So I got to do double as much as I would usually do just to get to where I was, then get over the top.
Yeah.
And that's all basketball is tapping into your greatness and understanding that your window is short compared to regular jobs. Like, no matter when you think about it, Kobe played 20 years. He's only 40 right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he played 20 years. At 40, at 40, you can have the rest of your life to, enjoy and, have fun and go on vacation. So it's like, when I played, I just put rules in. Like, I'm only going to go to 2 parties, that year. Other than that, I'm just going to be trying to find ways to get better during the season. Work out, train, get to the arena. I used to take a cab. I'd take the cab, be the first one there, get my 150 makes in, and then from there, just think about the game. Think about, what's going on. Because when the season's over with, the season's over with. Yeah. So you might as well put that focus in and understand, like, you have opponents, and, they have game plans, you have game plans. It's, trying to execute it before they execute theirs.
Yeah.
When I went to college, to be honest, I was supposed to redshirt my first year. And that was the reason that I didn't go to school. Like, okay, I'm going to redshirt. This year don't really matter then. So I'm just going to go out there and just bust my ass off and just be a better freshman coming in next year than I am right now. So I end up putting in so much work that I end up starting. And then from there, I just couldn't turn it off. Now I go from, red shirt and starting. Well, man, I want to be the best scorer on this team. Led the team in scoring both years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, I wasn't even thinking about leaving. Leaving and me making it to the NBA wasn't even registered until I read it in the paper. I opened up a paper and it had 4 starters leaving and it says, Gilbert ? So I called Lute Olson and he was like, I wasn't expecting you to come back. You're better than Mike Bibby is right now, and he's in the NBA. So go. All right. It was one of those things. Then it was just, okay, I'm out.
But this time Shareef has right now is so valuable because we're looking at the game in a different way. You said like that year you were going to redshirt, where all you can do is watch, right?
Yeah.
So how has that been?
I have, like, now living in 2019, you have access to film, multiple angles. You have a lot of stuff to look back at what you watch. So if I miss it in real life when I'm sitting on the bench watching the game, I can always go back and study what's going on. And I feel like my dad has just put me in a good place to just watch what other people do. So for next year, I can just come in and dominate, watch what my teammates are good at and what they're not good at, just so I know. So I feel like I have a really good personnel of almost all the teams we've played. I feel like I've watched them play before they played us, after and during, and I have film on all of it. So I've been watching a lot of film on the people I will be playing against, maybe the people who I won't be playing against because they might go to the league. But I feel like I've done a good job of just watching. I feel like I've done a great job of watching. I feel like I've noticed a lot.
You learn a lot from watching. You started watching, zones.
Yeah.
Because the college is it's different than the NBA. So what you see in college, you won't see in NBA. What you can't get away with in college, you're going to get away with it in the NBA. Yeah. So it's two different worlds. One you just got to go through to get to the other one. So I tell people, like, if you're skilled, if you're athletic, fast, you can be average in the NBA and be a superstar in college. You know, especially if you're a big man, because you got to remember, with you're going to see a lot of zones. You know, so you're going to always see 1, 2, 3 people in the back line suffocating you. In the NBA, you're not. You're not going to see none of that. You know, you do the head fake, one dribble, you're dunking on them. In college, you know, you got to get 3, 4 moves up and under. You know, you got more to do in college than it is in the NBA. You know, right now it's understanding that, you know, when it comes to preparing for next year, you got to understand what people are going to do with your team. You got to see what teams play zone. All right, you know, how does this zone backline play? You know, for my skill, and just understanding how to find your shots inside that college zone. You know, it's, you know, because at the end of the day, when it comes to college, in your whole division, there might be one lottery pick. Yeah. If it ain't you, it might be one other lottery pick. You might not never see a lottery pick play. You know, so it's just a bunch of guys who play hard. Yeah. So you just gotta, you know, it's just one of those things where you just gotta be dominant. You know what I mean? It's you go out there, you know, every chance. If you can think about dunking, go for it. Ain't no point of playing around with the dudes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just go out there and just be dominant and, all right, had a blessed day. Yeah. You know what I mean? You gotta, you know, and you know, at the next level, because at the next level, you gotta remember it's a bunch of yous. You know, and the only thing that separates, you know, you from the rest is hard work and the willingness to kill them. You know, and, you know, I remember when people asked me about Allen Iverson, I always say the same thing. I said, you know, no matter how offensively talented he was, he played the game so damn hard, extremely hard. It was like, you know, having KD type of offense with, you know, a Pat Beverly type of mindset. Yeah. You know, so, you know, he's jumping in the crowd, diving on the floor. Like, I mean, he was doing everything he can possibly do to try to win that game, to try to score 50 on you. Like, I mean, him just trying to score 50 is not like James Harden trying to score. Like, he did everything. Like, he won all the offensive balls. He wants all the defensive ball. Like, he wants all the steals, all the, you know, it was like the dude played so hard, but that's what separates him from, you know, every other guard.
And you talked about looking at other people's games and the guys that you want to get with over the summer, and that's exactly the benefit of a younger generation looking at the guys that came before them. So you can watch an Iverson take something from his game, watch T-Mac take something from his game, and put all that together. I mean, you can be a hell of a player that way.
Yeah, you know, I used to watch, like, moves. So during the season, the season goes by so fast because you're playing. You know, it's not like college where you play two times a week. You know, here you're playing 4.5. You know, most of the time you're traveling, so you're really not, you know, home. So you're bouncing. So games, you know, hotel rooms. There'd be some nights where you come in and you forgot what room you were in when you left, and you were like, damn, my key don't work, and you're on the 3rd floor, but that was your last room, and now you're on the 5th floor. That happens so many times. Like, I got to go back down. It's like,
what room am I in?
What room am I in? You know, so it moves fast. So what I used to do is I used to get with my trainer and say, listen, if you see someone do a nice move, write it down, write the time so I can go back and look at it. And then if I didn't understand it, I'll go to that player like, yo, yeah, you did a move, and what was it? And then they'll re-show it, and then I'll write it down. And then in the summer, I have this book, thick old book full of moves. And all I'm doing is just practicing them all summer. You know, just adding all of this new information into my game, even if I don't use it. Yeah. It's just like, you know, a cell phone, right? You know, your game is like a cell phone. You have to update it all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, you can never be satisfied with what you're doing. You have to update new information. Yeah. You know, and that's all you got to remember. Just always update. Just always update. Even if someone that's slower than you can't do nothing, he's doing something that you probably can't do. Take it from him. Mm-hmm. Add that. You know, you just basically soak everybody's powers in. Just soak everybody's powers in.
You know what we got to talk about, Gil? It's hiring for a small business.
Oh.
When you hire for a small business, naturally you want to find the best person for the job. And the odds are that that person is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easy to get matched with quality candidates who make the most sense for your role. LinkedIn Jobs uses knowledge in both skills and hard skills and soft skills to match you with the people who fit the role the best. Come to LinkedIn every day to learn and advance their career so LinkedIn understands what they're interested in and looking for, which means you use jobs on LinkedIn to hire someone. Your matches are based on so much more than a resume. Your LinkedIn Jobs matches are based on skills and background, sure, but it's also interests, activities, and passions. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Matching lets you quickly get a group of the most relevant, qualified candidates for your role. That way you can focus on the candidates you want to spend time talking to and make a quality hire you're excited about. Customers rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires. So right now, you post a job today at linkedin.com/nochill and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/nochill. Go find someone good today.
Go get that 50.
Go get a job. Not having a job sucks. You know what else sucks?
What?
Losing your hair. Yeah, we don't want to have that problem. But 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss by the time they're 35. So we're going to introduce Keeps, the easiest, most affordable way to keep the hair you have. These FDA-approved products used to cost so much, but now, thanks to Keeps, they're finally inexpensive and easy to get. For 5 minutes now and starting at just $10 per month, you'll never have to worry about hair loss again. Getting started with Keeps is so easy. Sign up takes less than 5 minutes just to answer a few questions and snap some photos of your hair. A licensed physician will review and information online recommended to you the right treatment when it's shipped right to your door every 3 months. Keeps offers generic versions of only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. Some you've already tried, some before, and probably you've never gotten for this price. Keeps is only $10 to $35 a month, plus Keeps can get you your first month free. It's one hell of a deal for getting to keep your hair. To receive your first month of treatment, go to keeps.com/nochill.
Mm-hmm.
That's keeps.com/nochill. That's a free month of treatment at keeps.com/nochill. Get your hair today, hair tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep them here, fellas.
We'll make you look good.
It's hard to get ladies when you're bald.
Work for Jordan. You just got to have the style
I
to
think
it.
that was just the 400, 500 million.
But you got to have style to your game, too.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like, you can watch all these guys and pattern yourself at them, but you have to make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think what is lost so much is adding, you know, like a substance, you know, because where does the creativity happen?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to play games? Or are you just getting runs in? Are you experimenting and trying these things that when you play? Like, where does that happen for you now?
I feel like creativity with basketball for me, I feel like I did a lot of creative stuff in high school. It might not just be a move. I think it's like the way I kind of used like movies and like movie characters like in basketball. Like a lot of people always bring up how I like connected like Dragon Ball Z and basketball. Like when I brought out those custom shoes and like how I always said I was going Super Saiyan when I scream after I dunk. I feel like that's probably like a creative thing. I feel like, I'm not going to say I started it, but I feel like I kind of did like a kind of different thing that kind of, a lot of high school kids do it now. Like I see them pull out the custom shoes and kind of relate themselves to characters and all that. And I feel like that's probably the most creative thing I've done. Like I wasn't a flashy player all the time. I did a couple stuff here and there, but I feel like creative-wise, it just kind of brought a different kind of lifestyle into basketball.
Because you have your game to begin with, but to have substance to it, like first things first, get your game down. Like be a dominant player. Then you
know, style comes with just confidence. Once you've done something so often, then you started, bringing in your attributes of entertainment. Like James Harden with the. And Curry when he does his little funny stuff, that just comes from just busting your ass over and over. And then you started like, oh, okay, let me go ahead add a little something to this one.
Because you said guys are so focused, you're on that grind. You said you got to sacrifice. Like that's where it starts. Like you're just so singularly focused. But then you got to have fun when you play. Like eventually,
fun.
you burn out.
When you're practicing, it's practice. That's the game is the fun. The game is the entertainment. The practice is where, you don't have time or room to play around because you're trying to, perfect something. You're trying to do something. When you're in a game, like it's like an actor. He's sitting in the room in a mirror, running his lines over and over and over and over. Once that camera screen comes on, that's when he gets to release all, his swag onto that, and that's the same thing with ball players that, the practice is the grind. The game is the easy. You got the crowd, you dunk, you play to the crowd, you play to that's where the fun comes in at.
Yeah. My something like that, like I feel like the crowd kind of helped the entertainment I brought more. Because my dad, he told me all the time, he's like, make people remember your name and always put on a show. And like, even if I did one thing, I could have the worst game of my life. But if I scored 4 points and my 4 points was one of them was a windmill, the other one was a lob, everybody was going crazy and everyone was always like saying I was the best player ever. And I didn't do anything. Like in my head, I'd be like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But to everyone else, be like, oh, that was the most fun game I ever watched, all that. So I feel like, especially at my school, because my school, the last time they won a state championship was when Baron Davis went there, and that was 1997. I wasn't even born. So when I came to the school, my 11th grade year, we had me and Ira Lee. He's at Arizona right now, and he left. We didn't win that year, but this past my senior year, I feel like it was a huge show. Like I've never really seen that many people come to a Crossroads game in my life. We had like almost about 700 to 1,000 people in that little gym. It only holds like 900 people, so all of our games would be packed, and it would be a show. Like I'd go on Instagram after, everybody would be talking about it. You pull up to the game 3 hours early, it'd be people lined up. So I feel like it was a good show that everyone wanted to watch, and I feel like the more people fed into what I was doing on the court, I kind of just like produced more, and I was just showing more, and that led us all the way up to a state championship. I feel like at one point I wasn't even thinking, and I was in the game doing stuff that I never really thought I could do, and it just turned me into like a whole different person. So like in practice, I wasn't quiet, but I didn't really show a lot of emotion. I would dunk on one of my teammates, it would be whatever. But in the game, if I dunk on someone, the crowd gets hyped, I would be calling them names, I'll be saying whatever. So I feel like he's right when he says like, when the lights are on, just like a whole different person. You just release whatever you have in you.
Was missing the McDonald's, not being chosen for McDonald's, was that hard to take?
Yeah, it was hard. I think it was hard because the setup. I got the nomination paper, and I saw that the envelope said McDonald's All-American. So I didn't know I got nominated. I thought I already made it. It came to my school. My coach gave it to me. I was telling my teammates, show my little brother. We was all jumping around, open it. It said nomination. I was like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. I'm just nominated. Then I seen on Twitter, it's like 5 minutes. We're gonna show. I didn't know what day they were releasing the roster. I forgot. I was watching on TV. They showed like the East team first. They were calling names. I was like, okay, I'm on the West side. Saw the first name. I forgot. I think the first name was Bol, and I've been playing with Bol. Me and him were like a cool duo in the summertime. So I was like, oh, if they choose Bol, they're going to choose me. They saw Bol. The names kept going, and then they kept going. And I was on TV I was watching this with my family, and I didn't get chosen. I think that just because of how we watched it and I didn't get chosen, it was bad. Like, if I would have just found out through my phone I didn't make it, I would have been mad, but I wouldn't have been that mad. I just was so hyped. I had friends and family over watching on the screen, and my name doesn't show up. I think for that first day, I was really pissed off, but I just my dad always said to just prove people wrong. So I know I had a lot of support behind it too. I know if you look at, if you go on Instagram, look at the McDonald's page and they show that roster, everyone's like, where's Shareef? Where's Shareef? And I thought I would have made it. I feel like I had a really good chance to make it. And after I didn't make it, got moved back in the rankings. And then I was really mad. Like I went from like 18 to like all the way like back to 30. And, rankings don't really matter. I wasn't really mad, but I'm like, what did I do? I've been averaging like 30 and 15. And we go all the way up. I win the state championship. The game after I didn't make the McDonald's thing, that was probably one of the best games I ever played.
You know, it's kind of funny how you say that. Like, you're ranked 18, and if you just go by the ranking, I'm McDonald's.
I was supposed to be
and then when they don't choose you, now they have to justify it. Now they got to take. Now they got to justify, like, oh, let me go ahead and move him back. You know, to show like, no, he was 30.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when I looked at the McDonald's All-American game. Like, I looked at it like probably last month. Like, who's in my McDonald's? Because I didn't know nothing about McDonald's then. It was like I wasn't ranked. I was ranked 99 in my class.
Yeah.
You know, but every camp I went to, I was in the All-Star game. You know, but I didn't really, because I didn't play travel basketball like that, and I was just a California kid.
Yeah.
You know, so I only knew California players, and then everyone I knew came here. So when I went to McDonald's, when I got to McDonald's, I got hurt, so I didn't get to do anything at McDonald's. Just so when I seen you and you missed it, I was like, damn. Who the fuck are these people? So I decided, let me go see who was McDonald's in my year. And I'm looking at the names like, yo, he's trash. Oh, he was bust his ass. Like, what is this? Like, what is
No, that can be a blessing in disguise, right? Because then that'll now motivate you. Like, okay, these guys are all on my list, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check him up.
Put the motherfuckers right on the list. I'll see y'all in the big leagues, and I'm coming.
You come out man on fire.
Yeah. That's
or it's like being drafted where you were drafted. Now all those guys ahead of you, you're going to spend your whole career chasing them.
People, high school basketball is the hardest. I think it's the hardest to judge. Because everyone blooms late. Everyone doesn't bloom at the same time. The taller guys bloom later than guards. You'll see a guard who's ranked 1, as a freshman, and he might continue his rank all the way because he already has his skill level down. When it comes to bigs, I'm 6'1", my freshman year. By the time I'm my senior year, I'm 6'11". Well, I'm a whole different player. I had to adjust to different positions. Like, I was a 1-man here. This year I had to be a 2. This year I had to be a 4. This year I'm a 5. Like, I'm trying to still figure this shit out. So I said it's hard to really judge high school kids because a average high school kid can be a superstar. A superstar in high school won't even make it to the NBA. If you look at the number 1 players in their senior year, the number 1 high school player their senior year, majority of them don't become stars in the NBA. Like, LeBron was number 1 in his class. The second best player was 14. That's Chris Paul. They're the same high school class. That means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 didn't live up to nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't become all-stars or prime players. And that happens, like, if you just look at the list, like, it's...
No, you don't want to peak early. Whereas, like, your best years were in high school, and then you didn't elevate your game at the next level.
That's what I said. Your game is going to translate later on in the NBA. Like, it's one of those type of games. You have that skill level where that's what I said. Even in college, when zones come in, it kind of takes you from your natural ability. Once the league comes in, it's like, now you have to play me one-on-one, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, now you got to guard me one-on-one. There's no 52 people digging. There ain't no another player right here and another player right there. Nah, this is 101. See ya.
But when you came into high school, it's like you got attention, you had a name on your back, right? But at what point did you feel like you came into your own? Like, I'm my own man, I'm my own player.
I feel like it didn't happen until about 11th grade summer. 9th grade, I thought I was horrible. I mean, I thought I was good at the time, but looking back at videos,
Didn't you got benched, right?
yeah, I didn't really play a lot. I think I averaged like 4 minutes, scored about 3 points every time I came in. I just shot a 3 or I never really drove. I just shot 3s every time I came in.
But they tried to make you a big man, right?
Yeah, I lived in Phoenix with my dad. When my dad was on the Suns, that's where I kind of started to play like a guard because I had a coach. His name is Mark Brown. I was the tallest person on the team. He'd be like, bring the ball up every time, shoot 3s, all that. So that's where I kind of got my guard play from. And he had like a record at some school. He was like the best shooter, so he gave me like a new form and all that, and he taught me a lot. And it's just a small little white guy. He taught me how to play like a guard. And
Hey, those white guys.
Yeah.
He
taught me how to shoot. And I feel like after that, I just became like a guard. And then I came into high school. He's like, play the 5. And I had to guard people like Cody Riley. He's on my team right now, but he's been huge since like 8th grade. And I was skinny. I was about 14 years old. He was bullying me. We played a couple guys who are in the league right now, like Terrence Ferguson. He's on OKC. We played them. We played Bishop Gorman, and I was playing against 7-footers and all that. And after that, I was like, I don't even really want to even play basketball anymore because I would get in. Even if I was score, I'll just get taken out sometimes. I didn't know what I was doing. In 10th grade year, all the seniors left. I was starting, but I still wasn't that good. I averaged about like 9 points. Then it went to 11th grade. I averaged about 15, but I still wasn't really satisfied. But I think that summer, playing with someone like Bobo, I feel like he kind of inspired me a lot. And I saw how easy it looked for him. And then we were playing against the top players in the country in the Nike circuit, and it looked so easy for him. And then when I went back to play high school for my senior year, I'm playing against people who are like 5 feet tall, and nobody in like Santa Monica is really my size. Like the only team that we really had to worry about was Sierra Canyon. That's the only team in our league that
and
was.
They had Bagley at that time, right?
Yeah, they had Bagley. My senior year, they had Kenyon Martin's son, Cassius, Scottie Pippen's son. They had all those kids. So that game was like the clash of like the NBA sons, all that. So my senior year is where I feel like I really stepped it up, and I made my own name. I feel like my social media, I kind of gassed myself up, but from an early age, I kind of made myself seem better than I actually was. And I feel like everyone would always tell me I was really good, but I never really liked where I was at until I was a senior. And even then, I feel like I could have done more now looking back at it.
I mean, that's just the process. I mean, when I was in high school, like, I made the JV team, but it was like, I think I made it because my dad, he had players on the varsity team, so I made, it's like one of those, I will put them on. Yeah. So I'm sitting here on JV, like, Dan, I wish I would have just made the C's so I could just play because I'm just sitting on the bench the whole time. And then, I took, that pain into the summer and I just trained. Yeah. All my friends, I said, let's go to Venice Beach, because Venice Beach on the weekends gets popping at 2 o'clock. So we used to get that at 11, and then we'll beat all like the little bums and Hispanics, get our little confidence up, and then 1 o'clock, the talent starts coming in. And, we'll get knocked off before 2, but, we got there. And then, we get to see all of, the older dudes jumping out of the gym and all that stuff. And, back then, we didn't really have trainers. So our trainers was adult league, going to adult league, and those older dudes is going to, they're going to train your ass all right. Yeah. You ain't going to try this crossover and dunk on me, so you better try to come with a whole new move. So my sophomore year got a little better. Junior got a little better. Senior year, I just murdered everyone. Yeah. But it was still one of those things where no matter how good you are or you think you are, you still don't think you're good enough because you're watching somebody else probably who looks better. Yeah. Like, Dan, he just makes that shit look so easy. Yeah. God damn, I'm not even close to that. And and that ends up happening. Like you're judging your talent off of someone else's and not realizing, well, it looks easy because maybe he's playing against somebody weaker, or maybe that's just his skill level. But but you still judge your output against someone else. I'm like, damn, he's just making that shit.
But you always need that, the king of the hill. You want to knock him off.
Yeah, but it's a fake king of the hill because he hasn't proven he's better than you. It's just from how it looks like he's scoring easier than I do. Like, why does this basket looks like they just seem so easy? Like, he just drop step dunk. I drop step. There's like 3 people there. Yeah.
I feel like Instagram has a really big part on how someone can be seen in basketball. I feel like all day when you scroll through, you see Zion. You see how easy it looks. Like, he's been doing this since like 8th grade, high school.
I think he was the best example of, like, we discovered him on Instagram, right? Yeah. And that's tough for him too, is he had to live up to the hype. Yeah. And there was hype, and he was running wild there in South Carolina post rider guys. And now it's like, okay, you're at Duke, and
he's still going crazy. And I feel like the more crazy you go on Instagram, or like the better you play, they're like, no one's ever really gonna be satisfied. They're always gonna keep trying to bring him down. Like, in high school, they're like, is he the best high school player ever? All right, let's see how he's going to play in college. He was playing against kids in South Carolina. He goes to Duke. He's still killing. And now they're going to just bring it to the NBA. Now they're going to be like, oh, is he better than this person? Is he going to be the next greatest of all time? And it's hard. You're 18, 19 years old being compared to Michael Jordan and LeBron and all that. Just comparison is a hard thing. So I feel like Instagram kind of gets everyone their own kind of
You know what's so
message.
funny is like Instagram I think sometimes it puts you in a place where you wasn't thinking about it. And, you have your insecurities. Like I always say with Zion that in the NBA, he has to guard somebody like you.
Yeah.
Being only 6'6". You know what I mean? Like in the NBA setting, in the college setting, he probably has the advantage because he can roam. In the NBA, it's like, no, it's isolation. You're on the island by yourself. You're 6'6". Like I have the advantage. Your strength means nothing at this point. Like being strong, like you're giving up 5-6 inches. If I turn around, shoot a jumper, you're nowhere near it. If I do a hook shot, like you will actually give up buckets because you have to power down to power up to try to block that. Like that works in college. It doesn't work in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I think people are setting it up for failure because it's like, well, you're putting so much pressure on this kid about being 6'6", 285 and not knowing that position he plays, power forward, small forward, that's not his position on the next level. He's going to have to be a 2. Maybe maybe he can do, because you got to remember, small forward, he has to guard Paul George.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never guarded a guard your whole career and you've been just guarding big men, now you have to sit here and guard Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, LeBron, KD in a whole different, that's kind of hard to adjust to. Like in him sitting in the post against you, Anthony Davis, Greek the Freak, giving up, that kind of height, it's going to be a little different. So, his transition, like he's going to have to really be dedicated this summer coming up to losing weight and understanding how to play the game a whole different way because how he's been playing it before won't translate for him.
Yeah.
That's, it's one of those things where, it's like I remember that happened to Shea Cotton. You were a man child, like this is way before you.
I know. I've heard about it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you've heard.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't know how it was.
So he was like Shea Cotton. He was a 6'4". 6'4", 220 in 8th grade. Now think about an 8th grader with a 44-inch vertical. Like, like what?
And at that time, they're telling you're the next Michael
Like that's
Jordan.
what I'm saying. Like what you see in Zion and like Zion's junior and senior year, this was him in the 8th grade. So in his 9th grade year, if he would have came into the draft, they said he would have been number 1 pick as a 9th grader.
Dang.
That's how so far advanced he was physically. Like he was bigger than most NBA players at that time. So, you get to your junior year, your sophomore year, you're number 1, then you skip a year, then you come back to your junior year and you realize, oh, you haven't grown.
Yeah.
You're a 6'4" power forward still. Your senior year, 6'4" power forward. Like everyone else, 7 foot now. Your whole class, your class is in college. The class under you is your class, but these guys are 6'11", 7 foot now, playing the same position.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting to college, but at the end of the day, now he has to translate to try to be a point guard or 2, where he wasn't used to it. And I don't want to see that happen to what's the name once he gets drafted. It's you're going to be number 1 or number 2. It all depends on who gets that first pick. I'm pretty sure whoever gets the first pick, if it's not a city who needs ticket sales, like I don't see New York picking them because they don't need the ticket sales. It'd be some team like Charlotte, Milwaukee, Minnesota, that probably needs that name. If it's anyone else, I think they're going to trade that number 1 pick and force whoever's number 2 or 3. Give me your 3rd pick and give me another lottery pick, and someone's going to take 2 lottery picks for that number 1 pick. That's how I see that going. But, if he translate into a 2, a point, like a Westbrook style, he won't be stopped in the NBA. Especially coming downhill with speed and power.
Yeah,
no one's going to stop the kid.
The point is there's always expectations for yourself, right? So no matter what the pressure, no matter how hard how high the bar is, that you have to be able to exceed that mentally.
No, it's not. It's yours. You come into the season, you come into each game, and you have to figure out what you want to do. You can't I rarely read the paper because I don't care what some reporter who never played this game say, good or bad.
Yeah.
You're a reporter. You've never played this game. So how you gonna critique me with your opinion?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me my game on your opinion.
Well, they might have played, but they weren't in your head.
But
no one knows what.
But that's what I'm saying.
You
can't tell me, oh, he shouldn't have shot this 2-for-1. It was bad. How are you gonna tell me what I should have done? It was a 2-for-1. That's what I was supposed to do. I took the jumper because it was quicker. If I tried to drive, it wouldn't have been a 2-for-1 now.
Yeah.
You don't So I didn't read the paper. But I played the game on all right, I need to, if I'm gonna be a killer, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta, 7 points a quarter. 7 points a quarter, and that's how I'm gonna play the game. 7 points. Rebound and assist, and that's how and you break it down easy.
You set the expectations for
you
yourself.
Set that, I'm not gonna let. There's no outside. You're not gonna tell me what I should be averaging or what I'm gonna do that myself because it makes you do it yourself. It makes the game easier. You don't have to stress about nothing because all you're doing is just following what everything else is cream on the top. And then once you start breaking the game down like that, it becomes easier. You be like, oh, this was easy. At first I thought I was going to average 10 my freshman year, and I'm averaging 19, 20.
Yeah.
I just simplified the game and made it just easier mathematically.
But you look at Harden or Westbrook, did Westbrook think he was going to average a triple-double for a whole season? He probably scaled up to that point.
The way he plays the game, I'm pretty sure he understood one thing. The way I play the game is going to be really easy for me to score and get an assist. Just being aggressive, I get 10 assists, period. So the only thing I think he actually goes into the game thinking about is rebounding. I got to consciously go attack the basketball because that's the only stat to him that he actually has to put any focus on. The other two, for him, comes easy. It's a natural thing. Just me being aggressive, I'm gonna, dump, a whole bunch of dump offs and score. But I go into the game and I have to focus on rebounding, getting 2.5 rebounds a quarter. And I'm pretty sure that's how he plays the game.
But now for Reef is part of this new wave, this generation of their parents played in the league before, their dad played in the league before, and there's a whole group of them now.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole different set of expectations because they're going to compare it to your pops.
No, I mean it's you look at the kids that's coming in now, with fathers who played and fathers who are athletic,
But you
now
can be totally different. Look, Tim Hardaway Jr. Totally different physically from his father.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Because
you can't be that because we can't expect that. Can't expect you to be just like your dad, 7 feet, 300 pounds.
Yeah.
No, but
Different
you can expect I'm going to be damn near 7 foot and I'm going to have that jumping ability he had, so you're going to get the attribute.
He has prepared you every step of the way. That's the best thing that you have from it.
He can't prepare him skill-wise because they're two different players. But just, understanding the game and what to look for, going through the college, preparing, that whole little thing. But his game is his game. And, and I'm pretty sure Shaq doesn't try to interfere on how you play the game, because you shoot threes and jumpers. He didn't.
Yeah.
He wanted to bang and dunk.
Do you tell him that?
No, he kind of, even when once he start to see that I could shoot and all that, he taught me post moves. He said, just for when you get a little guy and you use this. It would be never go in the game and do strictly post moves. I don't care what you do, just play how you play. And I think he's smart enough to know that I'm Shareef O'Neal. My name is not Shaquille O'Neal for a reason. I can do whatever I want. Even if I didn't want to play basketball, he wouldn't be mad. He'll teach me some of the stuff he learned, or he'll tell me this is a move that I used when I had a little guy on me, or if I had a slower guy on me, I would use this. But he's like, you don't have to use it, and that's why he puts me in the gym with a person like Tracy McGrady and my guy who trains me and my little brother. He's from New York. His name is James. Like he played guard. He'll teach us guard moves. Like my dad will teach us post moves, but it's not like his main focus. He just kind of lets the game let the game come to us. So yeah.
And it was so funny is when you go through the AAU circuit and the ex-NBA players, NBA players go to the game, they're so different than the regular parents because you got to remember they play the game, so they understand that, you know, yelling at my 7-year-old is pointless. Like, like what did I expect him to do on a fast break dunk? I'm just happy he hit the rim with that ball. Like, but you know, you got parents who really take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and thinking they're going to be NBA players and get them out of poverty. And they really put so much pressure. On kids. And, you know, you got NBA parents like, yo, hey, just go out there and just do what you're going to do. You know, you can use it if you want or not. It's how you play, you know, and that's how you're supposed to teach your kids. Like, you got to understand, it's like during a game is like being at work, right? For a kid. Like if I come to your job and say, no, type the key right now. No, push the entry button. No.
Dad, let me
like you're like,
myself.
Damn, hold on. Like stop stressing me out. Yeah. Like if that's what happened to you, same thing that happens to me. Shoot the ball, pass the ball. Like hold on, God damn it, I'm trying to dribble this shit right now.
Those are what we call little league dads. Yeah. If you're a pro athlete, you know not to be like that. That's only going to mess with your ego, your psyche, but you know, it's different levels of pressure, right? Whatever you can handle. But it's one thing when you're playing and you have your game and your dad walks in the gym. Like if you're in the gym, everyone looks at you. Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah. You know, it's so funny. The parents probably, you know what I think the parents do? Because they do it with me. When you fuck up, they want to look at Shaq to see what he does. You know, you're like,
yeah, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's what. And they're like, why he ain't yelling? He ain't doing nothing. Like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to sit there and yell because if I start yelling at him, then he's gonna start getting nervous. Then he's not gonna play his game. Then then he's gonna stop liking the sport. Like, you know, there's a whole little wave that happens. You know, we'll talk after the game.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't go frustrate him now.
That's like my dad. Like if I do mess up, he'll call me over maybe during a free throw if I'm like in the backcourt. He'll be like, "You messing up right now? Just fix it." Like that's all he says. Like and even if I go on a fast break and I dunk on someone, this is his face the whole time. He's gonna be like this, and everyone's always like, "Why doesn't he cheer?" I'm like, he's seen all of it. He knows what's going on. He doesn't really have a reaction because it's so normal to him. But my mom, on the other hand, that's the only voice I hear during the game. I miss a shot. He's like, "Why are you missing so many shots?" And my dad's always like, "Calm down." Because like my dad, like he doesn't say anything at any of our games. And if we're messing up, he'll be like, "We're messing up, just fix it." If we're playing good, he'll be like, "Great game," and then that's it.
Yeah, you know, because you know he's played the games, one of the greats. You got to understand that you can't get too high on shots when you make them. You can't get too low when you miss. You know, so. You know, when he dunked it, like, good enough. You know, because he knows that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to dunk on shit on, you know. So there's no point in getting happy and excited about, you know, dunking on someone because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you do. So it's like leveling off because the more your brain and your mood can be level, your game becomes more consistent. Yeah. You know, when you see players that hit a jump shot that's running down the court, throwing up the 3 sign and doing all this, after every bucket, I'm pretty sure after every miss, they be like, oh. Yeah. And you know, they can't focus anymore because, you know, they go off of makes and misses instead of just saying, listen, I'm going to make some, I'm going to miss some. That's just how this game is played.
Yeah, you let your emotions take over, and then you're already beat.
Yeah.
But that's a hell of an advantage if you look at it that way. Like, you have a parent that played for so long, they know the ins and outs of the game, and the other kids don't have that. And even guys like Kobe's dad or like Kyrie's dad, they weren't at the level of NBA superstars, but they definitely prepared them for a career.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I've never seen, you know, Jelly Bean, you know, play, but I'm pretty sure he became more famous because of Kobe. You know what I mean?
But he also propelled him to be a good player.
Yeah, prepared is just putting him in, situations. It ain't like he's sitting there working with him, teaching them the game. It's like, you put the right trainers. Like, I can't train my son how to be a guard or a 2 or a 3. So I got to put players that, he looks up to, that he plays that style. I got to put them in front of him and let them help his game out and, help him excel to be great. Like he has my natural ability and height and all that, but I can't teach him the game. Like with my son, I know he's going to be a guard. He's probably going to be my height longer, but at the end of the day, he plays a style different than I did. So all I do is just give him trainers. All I can do is teach him this, and maybe he'll use it not. But other than that, train it. Y'all do all that dribbling, and that wasn't my style. I just scored. I ain't. My son plays more like Kyrie. He wants to get the shaking and baking, and I just, I'll sit there after the game like, yeah, you shook him and bake. You missed the jumper, though.
But did he watch Kyrie? Is that where that comes from?
Yeah, he watches, yeah.
So he should watch
He
you.
just naturally, at that age, it's, let's see what your skill level is. He has a high motor. Let me just see. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. Like, he came from soccer. I didn't know what that sport was. I didn't even.
Yeah,
that helps your footwork.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah. It's like with me, my dad didn't really pressure me to play basketball. And at first, I kind of thought I had to play, just because I had such a basketball family. And then when I hit like 12, 13 years old, I kind of tried to do some other stuff. I played football. I even tried skateboarding. And then he kind of said in the interview, I tried skateboard. I don't know why. I'll be jumping off the stairs and all that. He said that he always kind of knew that whatever I wanted to do would come back. And he said he kind of knew it was going to be basketball.
Yeah.
And if I told him today, like, Dad, I don't want to play basketball anymore, he would be okay with it, but he'd ask me, like, what are you going to do? He's not going to just let me sit around and just, like, feed off of what him and my mom give me. And they do bless me with a lot of stuff, but they kind of want me to get my own. And he kind of knew that I'd always come back to basketball no matter what I did soccer, baseball, football, and then skateboarding.
Oh, man, that helps.
Yeah, and then after
you got to try it too.
Yeah, and after I fell that one time on the skateboard, I was like,
that was it.
Yeah, I was done with that. And I came right back to basketball. So he never even told me I had to play for a team. He never told me I had to go work out. He kind of lets me kind of base what I want my future to be. So I feel like that has helped a lot. I feel like if he pressured me early, it kind of wouldn't have been the same today.
What motivates you to be the type of player you want to be?
I would say my family. I feel like my mom and my brothers and sisters. I feel like I just like seeing them happy. And other than that, when I would go skateboard and I'd show them a video of me jumping like 5 stairs, they would be like, "Oh, all right, that's cool." But, or if I scored a touchdown in football, like they would be happy. But I feel like basketball, when they see me having fun and smiling and playing basketball, that makes them happy. And I feel like when I was in high school, I like seeing them happy, so I would play. But now I realize that this is like what I want to do. Even if my dad wasn't Shaq and basketball still in my life, this would be something that I would want to do. So, yeah.
All right, we got 17 days. You get to touch that ball. I know you're gonna be excited. I'm excited for you, man. I can't wait to. You know what? I don't usually go to college basketball, because it's always basically one star, But I'm gonna come. I'm going to come next year and watch you.
You got a fan club over
I'm
here.
like, yo, 40 tonight. I'm going to be that dude. 40. Fuck the rest of the team. Fuck the rest of the team. 40. You got to practice. You got to get ready for the KD. Score 40.
But it's one step at a time. One thing, like you said, it's not going to come to 40 first game, but you got to build up. It could. It could.
Why not?
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
through.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
All right.